All right, here we are.
Hey, what's going on? Your microphone on?
Yeah. My mic is on, yep.
All right, welcome to the Who You Know Job Networking Show.
Where what you know is important, but
Who you know
can make all the difference
in your job
and actually, we are not actually here to talk about the show per se, but we are at, as you can see, a fantastic, spectacular event. We are at the New York Life
Executive Council premiere.
2019.
Yep, 2019 at Seattle. Super excited to be here with you guys today.
As you can hear, and you might even be able to see that, a little glimpse at the last session of the day. All 3,600 New York Life Executive Council members line around the auditorium and sing Auld Lang Syne. Which I don't even know the words.
You don't even know the words?
I don't even know the words.
But it's like a council tradition. 175 years. New York Life is about to have its 175th year
2020 will be
birthday.
175.
So we're super excited about that. And we want to talk about, what this career means to us and our network and how we got here to where we're at today. Super excited about it. Last night was actually an awards dinner.
Yes.
I got to
Somebody got a couple awards.
Yeah. I got to sit down with Ted Mathis, so that was exciting.
So what happened is Trevor got recognized for In the Zone, the top producer of council credits, which gets you here to this trip in our zone, which is a South Central zone. Basically everything like west of the Mississippi up to like the Pacific zone. And then there's the award right there.
Oh, thank you.
And then he also received another award, which was the Investment Annuity Award. He was the top producer for all investment annuities. And that's this award right here. So really special night.
Yeah, it was. It was amazing. Got to sit down and have dinner with the CEO, Ted Mathis. Was awesome. That was an amazing dinner, and just being recognized for some of our achievements.
Well, in the team too, right?
Well, and that's what I was going to say.
We were all able to be there and join in and celebrate, and I think that just an amazing feat to be able to witness, and for you to be at the head table with the CEO of New York Life.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Fortune 100 company, and he was sitting down and having dinner with him last night.
Well, and one of the things that I want to point out too is we get these ribbons at our meetings, right? So Mark's got these ribbons here, and one of the first ones here, this highlighted green or whatever you call that. What do you call that? Neon green. Neon green. Community champion. So it all starts with the community. Mark and I we do a lot of volunteering of our time in the community, and it reflects, right? Success is a direct reflection.
Oh, you had some ribbons fall off there.
I had too many ribbons.
You had too many ribbons.
They started falling apart. But it's a direct reflection of the impact that you have in your communities, the people you serve, right? So the Who You Know Network, you know that we're there for you guys through thick and thin, trying to help put things together for you to help you land that next career opportunity. And
we had a great opportunity yesterday. During the reception before the awards dinner, we met some very significant people for New York Life that not only play an impact in roles that affect us, because there are people that, they want to make sure that our show is, something that is good for the community, that's, compliant, if you will. But then we also got to meet some HR professionals from within New York Life. We actually got to meet the head HR person over the entire company, basically. And so she's, just newer to the position, but she is over all of talent acquisition for New York Life in the entire company. So
hopefully that'll be a strong relationship where we can
build upon.
And we send referrals all the time to the talent acquisition in Dallas, but being able to have that resource nationwide, I think would be phenomenal for our network, because there's a lot of people that are looking to relocate, a lot of people that are looking to change. They may be open to go to New York City, right? And going to home office. So we'll have some connections there we can leverage and hopefully make a bigger impact, right?
As you can see, there's just tons of people here. Want to talk a little bit about what Executive Council is, because for New York Life, it is a recognition trip for producers who advisors who reach a certain level of production, an awards trip for them. But it is also a time of learning.
Oh, yeah.
In professional development.
100%.
Being mentored and being able to mentor and get best practices in industry, unique pieces that we can bring home and put into place and put into our practice for you guys. Not only, in the community for the Who You Know Network, but our clients, our prospects, everybody that we have an impact with.
I'd like to switch the camera view over here. Let's move up front. Let's go ahead and move up front over here. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about our stories, right? Here, you want me to move over?
You want to sit over there?
Yeah. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about our story and where we came from. Mark, how did you get into the industry, and what led you to this company?
So that's a great question. I was in technology sales prior to coming to New York Life, and it's kind of about who you know, right? So I moved down here, moved to Dallas in McKinney in 2009, and the guy that moved right next door to me, within about a month, he was a New York Life agent. His name was Brian Craig.
Brian Craig, yep.
Hey, Brian.
Shout out, Brian.
Shout out to Brian. And so we talked, we became friends. He was my New York Life agent, and he went into management. And he kept on bugging me about coming in and talking to him. He's like, "Oh, I think you'd be great at this. You'd love it." And I'm like, nah. No offense. I don't think I'd ever do that.
You told him no?
Yep, told him no.
Why?
Well, I just, I was a national, scope salesperson. I had a region. I was regional director of sales. Very successful. Wasn't really looking. But then Microsoft and Google came into my space and started providing some of the services that we provided at my company for free. And so I said, okay, I'll go ahead and talk to Brian, at least keep my options open. Rest was history. Never looked back. That was 2012, early 2012. And, it was something that the industry that I was in, the technology sales that I was doing, was to help keep kids safe at schools, online tools to help them keep safe. And, New York Life, helping people protect and grow the things that matter to them most, right, which is their family and their finances, that's also seemed like a very noble cause to me. And, a way that I could still continue making an impact in the community. And that's why I love it. That's why I love what I do, is helping you all, helping the Career Search Network is what we're passionate about right now, getting people landed. So.
Well, and a lot of people ask us questions all the time because they see New York Life, they see the logo, and the first thing that comes to their mind is life insurance, obviously, right? And I think a lot of people don't understand the full scope of work that we actually do. Life insurance is definitely a piece. It's a part of it, but I actually received these awards at this council meeting for not life insurance. Actually, it was for investments. We do mutual funds, investments, annuities, college funding,
the rollovers.
Yep. And for our network, a big part of when you're going through a career transition, you're also in a financial transition.
Huge financial transition.
Yeah, huge. I mean, you've got the old 401ks. You've got maybe you got a pension from your old employer or a severance. Maybe you got nothing. You walked out of the door and it's like, man, I'm running out of income and I got to keep the lights on. And so we really help our clients understand some different areas that they can maximize their planning, reduce taxes, and really help them through that transition. A lot of times you lose all your insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you've got all of your protection pieces, your asset protection pieces, your family income protection pieces. I mean, look, even during the job search, things happen. And we've seen it where, families have been left stranded financially because of the loss of a loved one. He gives us, right? The Lord and God gives us what we need, not what we want. And sometimes, we need the time off, and we've seen that too, where people are in the search or in transition because
all the time
family members have had, life events come up or happen. So they've been able to take the time out to dedicate to that. So tell me a little bit about how you came in. I know your story, but let's share with the audience.
So I was in the auto industry. I spent 6 years there, and I was at Huff Hines Hyundai in McKinney.
Yep.
Big shout out to Huff Hines over there.
Yep.
I was there for 6 years. Brian Craig, the same guy that brought you on, He was my agent. Okay, he was my advisor. I was at a very young age making a lot of money. I was making $150,000 a year in the auto industry at 23, 24 years old. And that's not where I came from. I mean, when I grew up, I didn't have money. I didn't grow up with money. Money was not something that I had a lot of growing up. So when I became...
You told me some stories. You were hustling
early. Man, I was. I had to do what I had to do to eat growing up. And anyway, so... when I'm 22, 23 years old, all of a sudden making $140,000, $150,000 a year in the car business, I knew I had something I had to protect. I knew I had something that I couldn't be stupid or foolish, with this gift that God had blessed me with. And so I sought out the guidance. Brian Craig became my advisor because I honestly didn't know what the heck all this stuff meant. All this retirement stuff, the 401ks, if you're working at a company and they give you a 401k, they don't really help you with it. You don't get any guidance. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know what funds to pick and what percentages and all that kind of stuff. I was clueless. And so I reached out to him. He helped me with that. We pieced some things together. He started to become my advisor. And, about 2-3 years later, he started trying to bring me into the business. He thought I'd be a good asset to New York Life. And I told him no, just like you did. Same thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I probably told him no maybe, 3 or 4 times. And it wasn't until they had a lot of things happen in the business where I hit that glass ceiling. I watched advancement opportunities pass by. I watched people get promoted that were less qualified than I was for the position. And so I got frustrated.
You were too good. You're too hot.
Well, they didn't want to promote their top producer.
Yeah.
Because then they would lose their top producer, right?
Yeah.
So they were like letting other people get promoted from around me and stuff like that. And so I got frustrated, to be honest with you. If you've ever worked at an employer and seen some of that stuff happen, you get frustrated. You get burnt out.
Yeah.
And especially in the car business,
you get jaded towards the company.
Oh, you do. And I was working 70 hours a week, really grinding it out for that company. And watched all this stuff happening. So for the first time, I was open-minded to that conversation with Brian. And, oh, my gosh, what a blessing. So I was open-minded to it, came into the industry, and it's really like drinking from a fire hose when you get here.
Oh, yeah.
The processes, the procedures, the training. I was in awe of the training. It was like classroom style, like going to college, and they teach you not only how to serve your clients, what the products are, how they work, all that kind of stuff. But they also teach you how to run a business.
How to build a business.
And how to build and almost franchise your own. And so it's really, really a unique place to be. You don't have a whole lot of overhead, right? Like, for me and you, we've got some business expenses, but
you could get started up for...
You need a computer.
Yeah.
A computer. Yep, you really, just to get started.
And maybe $100 to get your study materials to get your licensing.
You're going to have to get licensed. Well, let's talk about the licenses. So there's a lot of different career paths that you can take with New York Life. It's not just life insurance, as most people think. Now, that is the core because you want to protect your assets, but there's a lot of different paths. So when you first get brought on, you need to have your group life and health license.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, well,
Group 1.
Health, why do I need my health license?
Well, you really need your health license because you need to be able to talk to both sides, right?
Yep.
The life insurance and health insurance. Oftentimes when you pick up, a client and somebody comes on as a client and puts their trust in you to work with their life insurance, they're also asking you questions about the health insurance side too.
Yeah, they absolutely are. I was just learning in a meeting today, the number one concern retirees have, the number one is the health of or the rise of health care costs.
Oh yeah.
And number 2 was market volatility, right? So it is super important to understand. Now, Mark and I will tell you, there's a lot of things that we can do in our business, but we're not a jack of all trades. Okay,
right.
Like in this business, literally, you could come in here, and you could do so many things. There's probably like 50 different things you could do in this business.
But the life and health, that's the jumping off point, right? That's where you start.
Correct.
So Trevor and I have, really gone the direction of retirement, investments, rollovers, and that's where our specialty is. And so, we are registered reps. We're, advisors with New York Life.
Yep. And
we really help people kind of navigate those decisions and help educate them there. But then, like a good team, we have team members that are specialized in the life insurance.
What happens when you need college funding?
Care,
what happens when you need estate planning? Yeah, like what about business planning, right? So we have experts. We have a team that we work with when we have the affluent client, right? What if you have, what do they say, mo money, mo problems, right?
Yep.
If you're Jerry Jones, you got big money problems, right?
The business owners.
Yeah, the
right?
affluent clients that have a ton of money. Like, so we have a team. We have our advanced planning group, right?
Right.
And they service the whole entire country.
We've got our internal consultants that we rely on for our life products, our investment products, annuity products.
Yep.
Long-term care specialists. We've got Holly, who really does a lot of our life and long-term care business. She's our life and long-term care product specialist as far as the production side goes. So.
And one of the things that I always try to teach, new agents as they come in, and Mark and I were part of this program called the Mentorship Program, where we get to mentor and coach new advisors coming into the firm. But one of the things that I always teach them is to not be a jack of all trades, right? When you get in this business, it's easy to first jump in and think, oh, man, I can do it all. Well, you're not an expert at it all when you first get here. You're probably not an expert at anything. Yeah, you have a license to sell it. You have a license to help people, but you're not an expert yet, okay? So what makes you qualified? What makes you an expert? And what I would say is find out what's the market you want to serve. Who do you want to help? Mm-hmm. What's the problem that they're faced with?
Where do you want to make an impact?
Yeah, where do you want to make an impact? And go be an expert in that field. Like I was just listening to an advisor here that works only with dentists. That is his market. He works with dentists. He knows the problems that they face. He knows what they need, the questions they have, and he knows them like going in because he's been doing it for many, many years. And so the market that we serve is the job seeker market. We help them in a lot of different ways. We know the problems that they're facing. We know the challenges because we've been doing it for so long. So what I would say for a new advisor coming in is to pick a market, pick a community that you want to serve, right? And go in and find out what they need.
How you can bring value.
Needs. Yeah, how can you bring value to that market? What can you do to make an impact? And not just to do with business either. Like, I always bring that point up. You don't want to just go in there and, talk me, and how you can help them with your business, right? No, you want to go in and find out literally what are the challenges that they struggle with.
What are their pain points?
Yep. In life. As like the dentist that I was referring to earlier, what are their challenges that maybe aren't directly related to your business, but how can you go bring them value? How can you help them? Maybe it's a referral. Maybe they need a partner for their business, whatever that is.
And what we're talking about, really, I mean, it's part of the process that we have as far as cultivating new business and clients and leads. But when you think about that, it translates across the networking channel. So everything that we're talking about, all the networkers, you see all of the most profound, impactful networkers that are out there in any business, whatever they're selling or marketing, they are doing those same things. They're bringing value, they're giving first and providing. And what was that? It was give 5 times, ask once.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I look at it as you
reap
what you sow, right? And that's a biblical principle. And if you sow good seeds, right, and you do good work and you water those seeds, then good things will, a harvest will come, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's super important. Yeah, give first. Don't just go in and ask. We could have easily walked in to some of these groups and just walked up and said, hey, if you need to roll over your 401k or if you need some retirement planning or if you need a financial advice, come holler at us.
Yeah.
Like that could have been the easy route, right? To just stand up and say, hey, if you need us, we're in the back corner.
Yep.
Come talk to us. But
we're the guys.
Yeah, we talked about it. We were like, we actually saw some guys doing that and we're like, no. These people need help in much more areas than that. There's so much more depth to the need that is there.
Right.
How can we help them and how can we make an impact in their lives? Forget the business for a second. That will come. If we do good work, right, it'll all work itself
out. Right.
If you do right by people.
Not just, and here's the difference. Like, we're trying to put programs and pieces in place that will actually benefit the job seekers.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the workshop and all of these other things.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, all that value.
All that value.
The headshots.
Rather than just saying, hey, you know, if I can help you or whatever, I'm here to help.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We could easily go up and just say, raise your hand if you know.
Yep.
Like, it'd be so easy.
Well, yeah.
But it's not what they actually need. There's more depth to the need. Yes, they need the financial work. Yes, they need that financial piece. They need someone to talk to. 100% they need that. But there's so much more to it. And we saw that need. And so we decided to take action upon that. And it's been one of the biggest blessings in my life. And I know you can attest to that. Like, we get lifted when people land jobs, when we get those success stories, when people tell us, oh, my gosh, this connection you made for me, you know, now I'm landed at whatever company, you know, that is what keeps driving me forward.
What I think is cool is, you know, again, kind of that whole networking 101, but, you know, like really the two, our business and the career transition market, they are totally unrelated, totally separate. Like we could do one or the other and have nothing to do with each other, but yet they are so intertwined.
100%, yeah.
Right? They are so, and that is just part of, again, the networking, the life skills of building the relationships. And like you said, I mean, we don't do it for the business, but we do get business from it because we're giving back.
Well, and I would say, I know you said they're not related. I think they are 100% related. And the reason why I think so is because I feel like corporate America does a poor job of educating their employees.
Right.
And as they exit, right, a lot of times employees have questions. They get this big old fat packet, you know, their separation packet, full of all kinds of lawyer jargon. They don't understand it. Like,
and
just
outplacement can't do anything.
Yeah, they can't help. Just your special tax notice alone, right? When you look at your special tax notice, it's about a 12-page document full of lawyer jargon about the pros and cons to do your rollover and what the consequences are and the penalties. And a lot of people know this stuff, but they don't know it to the depth of that document. They know the real simple, you know, okay, cash it out, you know, roll it over to an IRA, roll it to your new
401k,
or leave it behind. They know those simple, real easy,
but they don't know all the implications.
Right? Why does it take 12 pages then if it's that easy, what I just said?
Right.
Why does it take 12 pages? Because there's so much more behind it, and there's consequences for non-action, right? You have to take action, and you have to at least look at it to understand what your best option is.
Right.
So it's something that I think there's a lack of education
let's
in the workplace.
Yeah.
And it's a need, right? There's a huge need for it. Huge
need. Let's jump back just a little bit. So you kind of heard both of our stories now. How did we get together, right?
Yep.
Let's recap that a little bit real quick.
I met Mark. I remember the first time I was still selling cars, and I remember Mark walking into the dealership because Brian Craig, I guess, had been promoted, and he was introducing you to some of his clients to get you familiar because you were becoming his successor because he was becoming promoted, right?
And I was working with some of the other folks that were there on the finance and the sales side.
Let's talk about that for a second, which is a cool program. We actually, let's see, where is it here?
Successor, sponsor agent
successor program.
Yep.
So there's a program here because, you know, it happens. People get promoted. People leave the business. Things like that. You know, God forbid somebody dies. What do you do with all your clients? You know, Brian got promoted. A lot of his clients went to Mark. And so I was at the dealership, and Mark came in, and I actually ended up selling Mark a car.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We were talking, and I'd ask, as you know, hey, do you need any help with any of the stuff that you and Brian did? And I think you were good at the time.
Yep.
And I got into the market, and I was actually working with Leroy.
Yep.
Leroy, down on the used side. We bought that Sorrento.
Yep.
So we did a twofer.
Yep.
We did a two car deal, and so we got that. And then I had always been looking at those Genesis,
the Genesis.
and the Equus, and
he would just.
We looked at the Equus a couple times.
Yeah. So the Equus is actually now
the G90.
The G90. Very nice car. If you guys are very familiar with that, very nice car. So Mark was in there looking at the G90, and you know, I had to put it to him. I had to get him rolling out in some new wheels. He ended up buying the Genesis, which was cool, and that's how me and him
great car
got connected. not knowing that we had deeper ties than that, actually, from Harley Davidson even prior.
Right. Yep.
And so then when I came into the industry, Brian Craig was being promoted to be managing partner of the Montana office, and so I decided, well, actually, I didn't decide. He put me with Mark, right? And we already knew each other and had that relationship, so we just started
running together.
Yeah, Mark mentored me, which, to give him some shout out and some credit, Mark is an absolute expert. Like, I'm so thankful and grateful that I came under his wing, because I got off to a fast start. I mean, really, without his brains, I knew concepts and strategies and things like that they were teaching me, but I really needed Mark because he knew how to put it all together. And he's the brains of the operation, right? No, he is.
Just the technical aspects, I guess.
Yeah, he's your numbers guy. So he does all the market research, reports, analysis, all of the concepts and strategies and planning and all that.
You're the builder. Right,
well,
you found out something that, and I think this is what's so cool about this career, is that it fosters growth.
Yeah.
Right, and you'll find things that you didn't maybe even know about yourself.
True.
And that's one thing that Trevor found out, is that he loves to build. He loves to create.
Yep.
And he's got that vision for things, that he likes to see things grow a certain way, and he likes to help kind of steer that. And he builds. He loves to build.
And it's interesting, whenever you have a business, whenever you're starting your own business, I always tell the new agents this, think about just a car dealership for a second. I'll go back to that. In a car dealership, how many different departments do you have? Right? You got sales.
You got like 5. Yeah.
You got sales.
Yep.
You got finance. You've got the used car department. You've got the auction. You've got new car sales. You've got the internet department.
You've got the service department. You've got the back office.
The technicians.
Yep.
Right. You've got the people that wash the cars, and
the porters.
The porters.
Yep.
Like, you have to think about how many. HR. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, accounting. Right. They got to be back there. Getting everything put together. So you have to think about, in any business. Oh, then you got marketing. Right, you've got marketing, you've got the internet, that they're commercials. I mean, it takes a lot to run a business, and when you first come into this industry, it's like, okay,
you're doing it all.
Yeah, that you take over all those roles. Okay, you are marketing, you are the sales, you are the finance, you are the
Yep.
From start to finish.
Yep.
And so it can be really challenging. It can be really, really challenging. So what we always encourage is joint work, to partner up, to create a team, and that's what we've done. We have a whole team of advisors that work with us and support us, so that you're not alone.
Oh, well, we heard that here today, right? The council president, not for executive council, but overall, all the councils with New York Life, Bob Petroselli, he was talking about how he did joint work in split cases, and he got there, and he probably gave away, I mean, how many millions? Probably $2 million in joint work that he gave away and split with other agents. But it was because they needed to work together. They needed that expertise to bring everybody in as a team to get that done.
What's that old saying? What is it? What's the old saying? 100%.
100% of nothing, or 50% of something is a whole lot better than
100% of nothing.
100% of nothing.
Yeah, like a lot of times I find new agents and advisors can kind of come in to the industry and take the approach of, I'm going to do it all myself, and I can't give up 50% to I'm going to do it all myself, and I would say that could be a mistake, right? We're stronger together. We all have strengths and weaknesses, and if you play off of each other's strengths, let each other play. And really take over what they're strong at. I let Mark handle all of the reporting, the data, the analysis, the market research. Now, he's taught me how to do it. I can do it. He's taught me really, really well. And I take over when I need to. If he goes on vacation or something like that, I can handle the business. But I'm going to let him. That's his gift, right? That is his expertise. I'm going to let him have that, and I've got my side that I do, right? And so that's why we've been so successful. I couldn't be here without him and many others.
And it's more fun.
Yeah, it is more fun.
Right? If you're doing it alone, it's a lonely
It can be.
road. It can be a lonely road. You're working with people every day, and yet you're still on your own.
And you've got the ups and downs, right? Anytime you're starting a business, there's ups and downs, right? So if if you are alone in those downtimes, you don't have anybody to lift you up.
That's right.
You need somebody to lift you up in your downtimes, because they're going to happen. I mean, I've had my downtimes. My first year in this industry was not all awards and plaques and all this kind of stuff. I didn't get all this my first year. My first year...
Your second year.
Well, my second year, but my first year, I missed everything. They have a whole bunch of awards you can, a bunch of benchmarks and awards, and I missed them all. And coming from being a top producer where I was in the auto industry, that hurt. My first year was like, man, I'm used to winning. Okay, Winology. Shout out to Pastor Joel. I'm used to winning. And so my first year came here and I struggled really, really bad. But I think it wasn't until we really started getting in and working together side by side that things really picked up. We developed a process because now we understand our clients now. We really, really do. We get them. We understand the psychology of what it's like going through a career transition. We get it. Like, I'm about to be writing a book about this stuff. I'm actually in the process of writing it right now.
Well, and
but
not only
there's a psychology to it.
But also the psychology to getting people to take action. Because we know that most people would agree with a lot of the things that we say, but getting people to take action
otherwise,
and really put themselves in a better position and situation.
Yeah, all the planning, all the reports and data and analysis and all the research and all of this beautiful brain he's got up here is no good. Action, it's no good unless you take action and put it in place.
Part of our team, that's, you're able to kind of distill, some of those concepts, some of those high level things, and kind of make it easy to understand and put it into an actionable statement.
Absolutely, because a lot of times, a lot of this stuff that we talk about can be complex to a point where people get glassy-eyed. I always know that they're disconnected and they're not fully understanding when they're very, very agreeable. Like when they're like, yeah, sure, yeah. I know that they're clueless. They don't understand exactly what I'm trying to tell them. So there's a psychology behind that, understanding your clients and their needs and making sure that they understand the planning that's happening so that they take action to put themselves in a better position. Otherwise, everything stays the same.
That's right. Hey, guys, we are rolling up into our 3 p.m. Central Time Who You Know show, which is going to be – Foster's going to be running solo today.
Foster's running solo while we're taking over here in Seattle. So, guys, make sure you tune in to the show at 3 p.m. with Foster Williams, and he's got, what's the company he's got?
He's got Kidzania.
Kidzania, new company in Frisco.
Moving into Frisco from South America, right?
Yeah, big company, big
was it
company.
Mexico or South America somewhere?
I don't know, but if you go to the mall and just drive by that thing, that's where they built that thing.
Oh, yeah, they're building that.
It's massive.
Man, you guys need to check that out.
Yep,
and
Kidzania.
They are hiring
like crazy. They need support here in this area. So, guys, make sure you stay tuned to that show, 3 p.m., any other parting words?
In about 5 minutes. Guys, really what we like to preach or like to, encourage people to do is continue to find a way to make an impact of your own, right? There's so many of us that, and we're guilty of this very much so, going to work, just doing our thing, right? Yep. Getting ours, going after our own.
Yeah.
And I think that now that we've found something that we can pour ourselves into that actually is making an impact, I mean, life just seems so much more full, so much richer. I think that, the rewarding
it's
that we get back from people landing.
It's an amazing thing when you can ignite your passion and get compensated for it at the same time. How cool is that? Like, there's nothing, what a blessing. Like, most people are not lucky or privileged enough to be able to say they can do what they love, actually make a difference and an impact. I'm not talking about making, staples or something. I don't know.
Right.
Like, you're making an impact, directly affecting people's lives, and making an income at the same time. Like, I feel truly blessed. I'm blessed to be here.
Don't just go out, find a job. Find your passion.
Yeah, find your passion and figure out how you can. And a lot of people, I want to dive into this real quick. A lot of people ask, how do I find my passion? How do I, I'm not sure what my passion is. Try things. Try new things. Go out and don't, like, for me, I didn't realize this was going to be a passion. There was talents and gifts inside of me that were lying dormant that God was waiting to activate, right? But it wasn't until I was open-minded to the conversation with Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine if I would have closed that door again. I closed it 3 times. Maybe Brian would have stopped calling me.
And you might have been stuck.
And I'd have been stuck in the car dealership. Right, so all I'm saying, guys, is go out,
have an open mind.
Talk to people, have an open mind.
Yep.
There are a lot of people that come into this industry that have no experience, like me, like Mark, come from totally different industries, and you can do great things here. You can make an impact. So I would highly encourage you, if you have any interest in the career path here, give us a shout, guys.
Connect
We'd love to have a conversation with you to talk more about our story and what it's meant to us and our clients and all that good stuff. So thank you.
We'll hand it over to Monkey Butt.
At the KVGI studios,
with Foster and Kidzania.
We'll see you later. Bye.